What is going on? How is everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Penn State and Matt Campbell just went out and got three very, very, very underrated players in the transfer portal that I do want to come in and talk about in this video today. But before we do get started, I do want to greatly appreciate all the Penn State fans. Like always, you guys always show me massive amounts of support on every video that I post. So we're going to keep them coming. We're going to keep pushing this Penn State content. And I want to update you guys as much as possible because, yes, it's my favorite team. Follow them pretty heavily. And I'm excited to see what they're doing. I'm very excited what they're doing so far. I know a lot of people might be disencouraged because it's a lot of Iowa State players. But, if you look at what Matt Campbell's doing, he's bringing over the best of the Iowa State players, and not just bringing over any Iowa State player. So when you look at what Curt Cignetti did at Indiana, that took him to the college football playoffs their first year, brought in the best of the best from James Madison. Now you bring in the best of the best from Iowa State. And I'm not saying that we're going to go to the playoffs and go make a run in the playoffs, but I'm saying I think the expectations should be a lot higher than what people are crediting for. I see a lot of people saying that probably go into another losing season. I don't think that's the case. But aside from that, let's get into the players. So, first one is Jeremiah Cooper, a safety over from Iowa State. He's played some corner as well, so very rotational guy. Jeremiah Cooper, I love this pickup massively. This is a guy who has every bit of potential to be the best player on this defense next year. You put a guy like this on the same defense as Tony Rojas and Darius Dixon, maybe on the other side of Darius Dixon. I think this is an outstanding pickup. Jeremiah Cooper is going to be a true game changer for that defense. I think he's going to fit perfectly in that D'Anton Lynn system. 38 games played for the Cyclones, 134 tackles, 8 interceptions, which is tied for 10th all-time at Iowa State. 22 pass deflections, 4.5 tackles for loss, has a forced fumble. In 2023, he was first team All-Big 12 and All-Big 12 honorable mention last year, or year before last, because he is coming off a torn ACL. So that is one question mark that you do have. How is his mobility going to be? Which you see guys bounce back from torn ACLs a lot better nowadays than you did a few years ago. But hopefully he can come back and rebound and be the same player or even better than what he previously was. He showed a lot of versatility, like I did mention, at Iowa State. Played mostly safety early in his career, but moved to corner in 2025. You didn't really get to see him too much at corner because, like I said, he did tear his ACL. So he's a high awareness and recognition type of player. He's going to help him, quickly to routes and make plays on the ball. He's very good at making plays on the ball. As you can see, his turnover numbers are very high. So he's going to help this Penn State defense come in and flip the field a lot by causing turnovers. And, like I said, he's played multiple spots in the secondary. He's played safety, played slot corner, played outside corner. So, like I said, very, very versatile. Very versatile. So the flexibility really allows D'Anton Lynn to really put him wherever the offense is attacking, because like I said, he's going to be one of the better players on your defense, I had to say. Free safety or reading the ball and making plays under pressure. If you're playing in the nickel, he can cover receivers in the middle. If he's playing on the outside, he could be a sticky corner. And like I said, I just think the versatility is very big, and it allows you to kind of change the scheme of your defense from week to week. And I think that's something that's really going to benefit this Penn State team, this Penn State defense. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to game plan for Penn State's defense on film if you are bringing in all these very versatile players, because there's a few. Now, Keith Jones Jr. Now, a lot of people might look at it and say he's from Grambling State and automatically get discouraged from it. That's not the case. That is not the case. So he was a redshirt freshman at Grambling State in 2025. He had 32 receptions for 450 yards, averaged 14.1 yards per reception, had 5 touchdowns. He did have a few catches for 48 plus yards in 2025, which is helping the yards per reception. He was Grambling State's leading receiver as a redshirt sophomore. He had some pretty heavy interest from some Power 4 programs in the transfer portal. He brings a super physical vertical threat to Penn State's entire offense, which I think is going to really help Rocco Beck be able to stretch the field a lot It's going to give him a very big red zone target because he's 6'4", 185, and might even get bigger. Um, like I said, has the length and height. He's going to win the 50-50 balls. He has a he's good with the high point passes over defenders. And like I said, he's going to be a priority in the red zone, I would think. You're going to see a lot of 50-50 balls go up to him. So he had 177 yards after catch this past season. And he's super young, super high upside. It's a guy who led Grambling State's receiving with almost 500 yards in a very, very, very run-heavy offense at Grambling State. So, yeah, you didn't really get to see what he was really capable of. I think he's going into a redshirt sophomore year. But, man, I think Keith Jones Jr. is going to be an impact. I really like this pickup. I think it's one that a lot of people may not really notice how big it is, but it's a very valuable and high upside pickup, I would say, for Penn State. And it's really going to help this offense add a receiver position that's really lacked these past few years. We've seen a lot of trouble with Penn State being able to develop these receivers, but I trust Noah Pauly. He's an outstanding receivers coach now at Penn State, and if he sees something in Keith Jones Jr., I'm trusting 100%. Trusting him 100%. So the next one, Ikenna Ezeogu from Iowa State. Another one from Iowa State. So he had 60 tackles and 6 tackles for loss last year. Or no, total in his Iowa State career. 60 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 4 pass breakups, 1 forced fumble, 10 quarterback hurries, or 10 plus quarterback hurries. I couldn't get the actual number. This past season, he had 25 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery. He had a team high of 7 quarterback hurries, which that was his breakout year this past year. He's a senior transfer, so we're only getting him for 1 year. He has a length and strength to really set the edge and hold the ground on bigger offensive linemen. It does say he's a D lineman. He did play some in the interior at Iowa State, but he's going to he's going to switch over to edge rusher at Penn State. That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing that Ikenna is going to be an edge rusher over at Penn State. He's going to drop some weight because he's super explosive off the edge. He's a pretty decent run stopper. He's a pretty good run stopper, I would say, especially if you do want to add a run stopper off the edge as well. He played significant snaps in a 3-man front at Iowa State, but he's expected to shift into a 4-down defensive line at Penn State. So that's going to be very interesting. He's played both inside and outside, which does allow defensive coordinators such as D'Anton Lynn to really have more flexibility in the rotations. Kind of like I said, you might see him a little bit on the inside as well, but I think he'll mainly be an edge rusher if he really does drop that weight. And he's consistently, my alarm went off. He's consistently generating quarterback pressure, which is very big. I think they'll eventually convert it into sacks once he is coming off the edge, because he's going to be able to be a little more explosive off the edge than what he was on the interior. So he really helps shrink the run lanes, like I said, and disrupt the rushing attack. So I think adding adding a somewhat good rushing defender on the edge, I think is also going to be very massive for Penn State, and you just add more defensive line depth, because you did lose some young guys on that defensive line. Not many starters, but you lost some depth. So I like this pickup. I like this pickup as well. We'll kind of see how it goes with him translating to edge rusher, but I think you'll see a lot more productivity out of him when he does translate to edge rusher. So, if you guys did enjoy this video, I greatly appreciate if you did consider subscribing to the channel. Like I said, we're going to keep going with all this Penn State content, update you as much as possible because I love covering this team. And yeah, we're just getting started. Just launched this channel not too long ago, and I'm really enjoying doing this and really getting to communicate with fan bases. So I think that's super cool. And yeah, anyways, that'll do it for this one. I greatly appreciate you guys. Penn State fans, let me know in the comments what you think of these pickups, and give me your honest thoughts and opinions on what you think Matt Campbell has done in the transfer portal. How would you rank it so far? So yeah, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.